kind of rehearse with myself a little bit. Like,
right.
It's a weird process, but it's like, I like to see what I'm doing with my face.
Do it if you're gonna do it. Shut up. You don't got the stones, go on.
Silly, you don't have to do this.
That connect with me, like when I'm seeing myself back, am I connecting with myself?
She was good. You killed her for what? What, a drug school?
See, I have to work with like a partner, and like maybe sometimes depending on the audition, like call a friend.
That's right. Think of your girl.
And like maybe sometimes depending on the audition, like call a friend.
Down on your knees.
Friend. Hey, like I need help running this, because it just lands once you run it with somebody. You need another person. That's what we do.
So much better.
Put your hands in the air and lock your fingers behind your head.
I want to create good things. I want to make things that are good, that are that has staying power. I want to like be involved with other people's projects of the same nature.
All right, guys, welcome back. We are back with another episode of Breakthrough. We've got Mr. Anthony Demarre in the house today.
Thank you for having me.
How's it going, man?
It's going.
Yeah.
It's going. Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Of course, thanks for coming. Thanks for coming. Anthony and I, we recently met sort of. I just DM'd him on Instagram. I was like, hey man, you want to come on my podcast? I saw your picture, pop up on my Instagram every now and I was like, oh, maybe this means that I have to get him on my podcast. Maybe this is why
I appreciate it.
Keep showing up. But also, I mean, I did look you up, and seems like like you were a great fit to be on there. So I was like, let's do this. So yeah, no, thanks for coming and making some time to for this. Really appreciate it. So this is always what I usually lead with. Sure. Why don't we just go back to well, first of all, have you ever been on a podcast before? Is that your first one? Or
I have been on podcasts before, and they're like very loosely associated what kind of podcast I'm on. It's all over the place. Like I've been on my buddy's podcast.
Yeah.
I have a friend. Shout out to Jack Metcalf.
Okay.
This is anime. I've been a reoccurring guest on his podcast, which is like a weekly kind of like anime review kind of thing where he showcases like shows to people who have never watched it before.
Right.
So that I'm familiar with the format and the interview style.
Yeah.
Whether on camera or like just audio.
Yeah.
I actually have my own podcast.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, but it's like a narrative driven podcast, like an audio drama.
Nice.
Actually, the thing that you actually commented on when you DM'd me, it was like that video clip.
Yeah.
And that was like a sample from my audio drama.
Oh, that's what that was.
Yeah.
I mean, like the reason why I commented on that video clip is just because when you actually DM someone that you're not following, it goes in the box where they don't get notified. But if you comment on a story or a highlight, they're more likely to see it.
Interesting.
So like if you're ever trying to reach out, that's actually a good trick, guys. If you're actually trying to reach out, if you're trying to cold DM someone on Instagram that you're not following or they're not following you, it's usually better to go on one of their highlights or their stories and then comment on that, because they will get notified. Because if you just try to send them a message on Instagram, it might go in that sort of, in the DMs, and then they won't get notified unless they go in that I don't know what they're called, the unread, undesirable, whatever section they're called. But if you comment on the story or highlight, Instagram they're gonna be like, oh wait, someone just reacted to your story, so you're more likely to see it. It's a trick. It works. Okay. It works.
Well, I was flattered because I thought that you had watched the entire clip.
I did watch a bit of it. I did watch a bit of it, not all of it, but I did watch a bit of it. Yeah, no, it was great. It was great, man.
Yeah.
So okay, let's get the show up and running.
Sure.
So why don't you just like take us back
to
how you got started? I'm thinking we're all thrilled to know how you got it, started into acting.
Cool.
What were you doing before? Like, did you, were you doing something else that led to this? Take us through the whole ride.
Yeah, man. I mean, okay. So my journey started like, it's like an innocuous kind of like just basic. There's some people who have like these very, very like interesting kind of leeways in.
Yeah.
I don't, but I feel like a lot of other actors don't as well. So maybe there's some solace in that.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I was like out of university. I was working at TD for a while. Okay. TD Bank. Just working as a teller.
So what did you do like in uni? What
poli-sci, econ.
Nice. That's usually like the safety one. Like it's just like when you're I feel like when you're
Sprinkle in some business courses, a little bit of English, so
A
I
bit of
can
everything, so, like, at the
articulate
end-
myself,
Right,
right?
right,
So
right.
I sound like a smart person for my interview for TD, the teller job that's gonna launch me into
Right.
into
I mean,
the,
it does
into the
look clean on a-
finance world, right?
Yes, it looks clean on a resume when they see it. It's like, like a bit of poli sci, a bit of economy, a bit of like
Brother, you should
economics.
if I were to put a resume together right now
Right.
outside of acting, it would be an abomination. Like I wouldn't even notice. The Chat GPT couldn't save it because it's just this hogwash of like,
Right.
it was like a hodgepodge like of all these different jobs. It's kind of who I am.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think like we all kind of have these dispositions, and I've always been like curious by like a million things, right? And so I find my way into like the finance world, but at the same time I'm like, I kind of want to try this and I kind of want
Yeah.
to try that.
Yeah.
Like working odd construction jobs in the summer that my buddy's like, hey, like you want to come like do this, and
Right. Right.
before I got the TD
So
job,
that you weren't even thinking about acting at this point. It
not
was
even
like
thinking about it, man.
you were
Just
like
kind
just
of
living some sort of
early 20s out of university, kind of just trying to figure everything out, having too much fun, getting
Right.
into trouble. And my buddy from Australia, who's like a free spirit, he's like,
Right.
hey mate, like how's it going? Like, like I was
yeah.
I got like this gig doing extra work, like background. You want to get in on it?
Right.
And I was like, background work? Like, yeah, I've heard of it. I've seen like I've seen people talking about like background work and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, I'll try it out, right?
Oh, fuck it. Yeah.
Gives me like the link to like whatever it was back then.
Yeah.
And I signed up, and like I got like immediately I got like a couple phone calls, like or like messages like, hey, you want to be on this show? I don't know what the hell I'm going on. There's like the breakdown, like the you don't know what it is. They're like, okay, and you respond to it.
Right.
End up at like Delta Bay Airport, like this like night shoot.
Right. Yeah.
For
Weird
the
hours.
show, what was it, Timeless or whatever? Not
Right.
Timeless, yeah, something like that. It was one of those like NBC shows.
Right. Right.
And it was like that was like my first exposure to
Like a
background,
film set,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, but then I was like, oh, I'll try this again. That was kind of cool. You get paid, like you get to meet a bunch of people, and
Yeah, you get paid. You're there like for a long time, but you also get free food, like all
free
day.
food, man. You like so many eccentric
Bring
personalities.
your laptop,
on
just work, and like whenever they call you, you
Absolutely.
just do your thing. For
Absolutely.
like a second or two, and then you go back in the room.
Yeah, and
you're
I was taking it so seriously because I'm like, I don't want to mess up. Like nobody cares.
No one
right?
fucking
Like,
cares.
No
I mean, if
one-
anything-
nobody gives a
if
fuck.
anything, they might not even use your shot anyway. So
It
like,
was a cattle call. There was like 200 something people in an airport at Delta, like 1 a.m. in like
Right.
October. I'm like, like,
Yeah.
and I'm like taking this seriously. I'm like, I'm on a TV, like,
you thought
like,
you were hot shit.
I thought I was like, well, no, like I'm part of this. This is it, right? And then kind of just like going through and doing a couple more
That's
sets.
hilarious, bro.
Yeah. Doing like a couple more like sets like on BG and kind of seeing some weird stuff. I think it was like one of those shows like not it might have been like Supernatural, but you see like people in like costumes and like dressed up. I was on the 100. People are all dressed like this post-apocalyptic world and
Tribes, yeah.
speaking strange like made up fictional languages. I'm like, what is this, right?
Right,
Like I
right.
kind of dig this, right? Because it kind of
it's sick, yeah.
yeah, I think what it was for me is like I grew up in a pretty creative family. My mom was a singer.
Okay.
My dad was a musician. Like he's a teacher, but like he was a musician, and like my whole family kind of on my my immediate family has like a very creative expression to them, right? I sang a little bit in high school.
Yeah.
So I guess I was always kind of like, like I got to do the thing in like university. I got to find the job. I got to find the track.
Yep.
But I'm always attracted to all these different things, right? And just being on those sets, that kind of like reawakened something in me where I'm like, in a very subtle way, where I'm like, I kind of want to be in a work environment like this, where it's like there's this weird creative spontaneity and like
It spoke to you, yeah.
it spoke to me, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so just watching like a couple people doing like day player roles, which I still do, by the way, almost exclusively. But like I was like this kind of thing that woke up in me, and I was like, I could do that.
Yeah.
Right? I could do that. I could say a
It's
line.
doable, yeah.
I could say one line on a TV show. I could audition for that 10 years later. But so I was like, you know what? I'm going to take an acting class. And I took like my first acting class, and
Where was that?
that was with an individual who's now an agent named Mark Godot. Actor Van
Actor
at
Van,
the
okay.
time. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
now
yeah.
run by a guy named Peter, who's also he's
Wait,
awesome.
he's an agent now?
Yeah, so Mark Godot is now an agent.
Is
E-Spirit.
it Godet or Godet?
No, like I probably, but sorry, Mark, if you see this.
It's Godet.
Godot, yeah.
Might be Godet.
Well, yeah.
Could be wrong though.
You're
yeah.
the French speaker. but that was my first, and he was a working actor, like running a class on Saturday mornings, audition style. You know, you come in with your 2 pages, right? And then like, I think it dawned on me at that point, what it was, right? Because like what was like your first experience in front of the camera? You're like, oh God, like you get those butterflies,
right? 100%.
You know, like
You
your legs, which you've been training to like be like strong and like you're a physical athlete and whatever. And I had like a bit of an athletic background. Suddenly your legs have like that pre-game feeling where you're like, oh my God, like
I'm actually here.
I'm like in front of people and I have to speak. What's that all about, right? And like, why am I here? And then the camera's on you and you change, right? Like something
like spotlight all of a sudden.
Something about your disposition just goes off kilter. You're like, I'm not me anymore. Like I have to be performative. And then you get in your head and blah, 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 blah. And then you do the scene, right? And you have somebody acting with you. And like, that was like my first time. And I was like 24, 25 at the time. Right. I would have been like 23, 24.
So that was your first professional.
That was the first time I'd ever acted in front of cameras, just in that class.
So was that class?
Just that class. Right, never before. Never like, you know, crazy, like I did like something like.
So I guess you must have like been nervous and all that.
God,
right? Like, you were not, comfortable in your body. You were probably like fidgeting and whatnot.
Yeah, 100% fidgety. Like, like the hand. I had this thing, and I still kind of have it. I don't know if you have any.
I mean, we all have our things.
We all have our things, but like I would lick the licking of the lips.
Oh, me too. Because they get dry.
They get dry.
Like I mean, like sometimes I literally just like. I'm like, I have to like, sometimes you do it like instinctively because like they naturally just get dry. And if you don't, I guess like, like hydrate them in the beginning before you actually start shooting, then it's just, your body sort of like just naturally just does it. Like, it's your tongue like doing its natural work.
Yeah. And then you learn how to mitigate those things by just like breathing properly, by like doing vocal warm-ups, all that kind of stuff. But you have none of that when you start, man. You're like a fish out of water.
100%.
Right. So, I mean, that kind of activated like this thing of like, okay, I want to like, I might not ever want to do this, like as a thing, like as an actual career, but like, like I didn't like that first experience of like being on camera. Like, I feel like I could do better.
Yeah.
That led to like doing a few more classes with him. And then eventually kind of led to me going to a place that you've been, which is VADA, Vancouver Academy of Dramatic Arts, doing a little short stint of like some like kind of workshops and classes there. And then there was like this pivotal moment where I'm like, you know what, man, like I'm just gonna go for it. And I ended up moving to LA. My brother was living there.
Right.
So, and I moved there specifically to train. I trained at Stella Adler, and I did like a multi-month conservatory there.
So let's just like, so when you said like we're gonna go for it.
Yeah.
So what does that entail? Like what exactly was going through your mind at that point? We're like, we're gonna go for the whole thing. We're gonna go to LA. We're gonna try to make it. We're gonna go try it again.
Yeah. Well, okay.
That what was happening? Or
that's what was happening. So I guess like I would kind of like pin like the idea that like I've always loved movies. I've always loved cinema. Like it was always a big part of my of like my youth. Like I remember one time it was like New Year's Eve, and like I was kind of sick and I stayed home by myself. I was like 10, 11.
Yeah, watching
movies. Yeah. My parents and I had like a stomach flu. I had the runs. It was really gross. But my parents were all like the families. They were doing their like big Italian New Year's Eve kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I was at home alone watching Scarface, and like my mind is blown. Like I'm like, wow, this is amazing. Like they're like, how did he get into this character? Like Al Pacino's performance, like my favorite actor.
Yeah.
And so I always kind of loved those like quintessential like marquee actors, right? Those ones that we all know about, like the ones that are like that live rent free in our minds when we think about the history of cinema and stuff like that.
So you're one of those who really like, because sometimes people just watch the movie and they're very captivated by the story.
Yeah.
But like,
and like, I am too. But like, yeah.
But like sometimes we look at it from a different lens. We're like, wow, like this character, like this guy really embodied this character.
Seeing somebody really embody the character.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like, because that's when we're fascinated by the work. We're like, damn, like so much work went into that.
Yeah. And so kind of like bringing it back, like, I looked around at training, right? And there's some amazing training. There's some amazing coaches in Vancouver. But for me, it was like really one of those things where I'm like, I want to get out of the city.
Yeah.
I just want to get away for a while. Like I've been here most of my life, and I've done a lot of traveling, but I've been here most of my life.
I want to switch it up a little bit.
Yeah, time to switch it up.
Yeah.
And one of the things I noticed, like a commonality with a lot of these like really, really strong actors that I respect, is just like a commitment to like some sort of dramatic art school. something of that nature where you're just going for a dedicated period of time and every day, like you're just going to be practicing, right? And so that for me was like, well, my brother lives in Los Angeles, right? He was working out there at the time. And
So it's just, I mean, like you obviously just crashed it at your brother's. It was
yeah,
just
oh
easier.
yeah, oh yeah, man. I
Yeah.
just lived with my brother for 6 months,
That's
and
amazing.
we
I mean, that's why the biggest problem to be taken care of, because just like when you go to LA, it's like,
it was amazing.
where the hell am I going to stay? Because I mean, it's not.
I mean, my back was irreparably fucked up from
Right.
like sleeping on
On
a
the
couch for
couch, yeah.
6 months, and he's like, "Well, you're not getting the bed."
Yeah. You came in, yeah. You're not fucking paying rent, whatever. Yeah, yeah.
And I had to
That's
live,
what you get.
and I had to live with my brother, which is an experience in and of itself.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
I love
amazing.
him dearly, but like,
Yeah, yeah.
so then I went to Stella Adler and I did like a multi-month conservatory,
That's
kind of
amazing.
learned
So you
movement.
worked directly with her, or
No, like it was just like people who had been trained in that,
Right.
who had been trained in that, like
Yeah.
expression of the Stella Adler technique, which is
Right,
like, came from somewhere else,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
there's a whole history behind the techniques themselves, and
yeah. I mean, I could remember. Like, I mean, I'm not like. Is she even still alive?
no,
or-
no, she's not.
Okay,
No,
that's
it's
what I mean.
all right.
Yeah, 'cause
But
I
like,
wasn't super-
but
yeah.
she has a lot of people who like studied under her,
Mhm.
like still active in that community.
Yeah.
And it's a conservatory. There's some really, really talented working actors who are running classes there.
Mhm.
And what it gave to me was like this comprehensive kind of like introduction that I felt I needed.
Yep.
I'm like a nervy person. Like my acting coaches today, like we were talking about Aaron.
Yeah.
He actually just told me something like last night. He's like, Tony, like, you don't need to like show energy because you got so much in you already that
Right,
like your
yeah.
stillness will let it go.
Yeah.
I'm still learning that, like regardless of all my training.
Mhm.
But like I needed kind of a comprehensive all around introduction to acting, right? That wasn't just me going to a class
Yep.
every week and just running a scene. I needed to like learn how to embody it.
Yep.
Some people are like already there if they're dancers or musicians. They already got a little
Some
bit of
sort of,
that
yeah.
in them.
Mhm.
And I kind of needed that from like an acting perspective. So I went there and, movement, voice, audition technique, improv.
You name it. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's what it was. And then I came back and I'm like, yeah, man, I'm ready to
Yeah.
go.
You feel like you're just you're.
I'm ready to
You're
go.
at the top, like, yo,
yeah, I'm ready.
bring it on, baby.
I'm ready to go, baby. And then like I get my first agent. I'm like, we're gonna knock this out. Like I'm
Right.
coming.
So like,
to
walk
town.
us through that. Like, how did you
Yeah.
get your first agent? Did you just goal submitted?
Oh,
Did
I
you
just
do, like,
gold
some sort of,
submitted,
like,
man. Yeah,
showcase or
Vancouver Actors Guide or whatever it was at
Just
the
went on
time.
the side, just like submitted to a bunch of them.
My
Fine.
first agency was like,
Yeah.
well, I had like a couple like Bush League agents, and I'm not gonna like throw their names under the bus or anything
Right,
like
of
that, but
course.
like,
Yeah.
but you know the type. Like it's like you're not a legitimate agent, and like
Mhm.
those kind of people will exploit you. And like warning actors who are new,
Mhm.
vet your agents. Like it's so important because like there's like some people out there who are not actually
Mhm.
they're not professionals. Just like there's some actors who are not really professionals.
Mhm.
But kind of like bumped shoulders with a couple like agencies that were not really legitimate. And then I found my way into like my first real agent,
Mhm.
which was like a really big agent, where it was characters, right? And but I wasn't actually ready, man. Like, like
Right, yeah.
I came
You
with
thought you were ready.
I came with this gusto, and I think I came like having lived in the US for a while
Yeah.
and kind of taken that energy from there
Yeah.
and being like, and there is a difference. There's like a very American kind of like
Mhm.
energy, right? And you're there long enough, you kind of start to adopt, you start to kind of feel it. And we play Americans all the time.
Mhm.
So I kind of came back with this confidence of like, man, I feel so like
Mhm.
nimble. I feel so confident in the craft, just having practiced like every day for like months, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Came back, got an agent, first couple auditions in the room, nerves
So
kicked
you,
in
You locked in with characters right away.
pretty quickly, man. Within like a
nice.
couple months.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I landed them pretty fast. And yeah, and then like once I actually started getting auditions, and this was like during like peak Vancouver run. So this
Right.
would have been like kind of around the time that you and I discussed off screen. Like
Yeah.
2017 is when I went down to the school. Like 2018 is when I got back.
Yeah.
And we're talking like peak CW world. So like all the superhero shows are filming.
Yep. I
Like
remember
the
that.
Flash, all that kind of
All
like
that good
Legends
stuff,
of
yeah.
Tomorrow, Supergirl, like all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
And so like those are my first couple auditions, right?
Right. All the DC stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, man. And I walk in, I'm like, yeah, buddy, I got this, right?
Yeah.
And it's like
I mean,
three.
that's
it's,
great. That's
yeah,
the attitude.
yeah,
That's the attitude you want to go in.
yeah,
with.
and it's like
100%.
three lines,
Yeah.
like, and it's like I don't know, like
Yeah.
cop number 2
Right.
or like thug,
Right.
you know?
Right.
And what I realized very, very quickly
Yeah.
was that I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, man. Like, you know, from a technical perspective.
Right. You didn't hit your mark. You
Didn't
were
hit my mark. I was asking questions. Like, I was in Sean Cossey and JJ's office one time, and there was this audition. This is when we were still in the room. I'm brand new to them, like, you know, and
face, yeah.
fresh face, man. And I go in there. I'm in like the waiting room. There's a bunch of dudes who look exactly like me, right?
Right.
And they're like, the assistant comes out. She's like, "Hey, okay, Anthony, you're on deck." I'm like, "Okay, I'm on deck." Like, cool, that sounds good.
That's
Yeah,
sick,
let's do this.
I'm up next. Like,
yeah, like, but I didn't actually know what you're on deck meant.
Right.
So like, she returns to the room,
Right.
and like I follow her in there. Like while they're still like deliberating,
Jesus Christ.
but amongst themselves doing whatever they do in that mysterious world over there.
No, you
And I
didn't.
just walk in.
You did?
I walk in, and they're like, "Oh, hi." I'm like, "Yeah, what's like? Hi, how's it going?"
What's up? Like,
They're like, "Oh, the assistant could have come and like got you when it was when you were like ready to actually go, like when we were ready for you."
right.
I'm like, "Oh," and I forget which one of them was casting, but it's like, "It's okay, like you can go now." Like, you can go now.
You're already here. Might as
You're
well.
already here. And then I was like, oh, God, I did something wrong. I did
Right.
something
I
wrong.
fucked
And
it up.
my
I blew
3
it.
lines, dude.
I blew it,
My
yeah.
3 lines might as well have been like King Lear, like Shakespeare, like
Right.
soliloquy. Because I don't remember, like, saying a word. And I don't think I said any of the words I was supposed to say right.
That's crazy. So you
Right?
really just like forgot everything.
Yeah, just
blanked.
just blanked. Yeah, and that happened to me a couple times early in the process, man.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
I'm sure it still happens to some people even now, like
Of course,
even
yeah.
being in
It's
for
part
a
of the
long
game.
time, it's part of the game.
Yeah.
But those early kind of like in the room auditions were like very telling for me that like, yeah, there is like a very, there's a performative side to acting that is very much like intrinsic of like your confidence and your understanding of script and the energy you can bring to it and your charisma and all that stuff, but you need to learn the business. You need to learn the technicals. All those things are really, really important as well. And like, I do feel that there is like a proclivity that a lot of like actors get in before they're ready. You know, they get in before that they're actually ready, and they can actually burn themselves a little bit.
Yep.
And I felt like I might have, but whatever, you live and you learn and you pick yourself back up and then you just do the thing and eventually you understand. Right. And we're probably both there now in terms of like we get the process now. We get what is the expectation.
Yep.
So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. That was like my intro. But
That's crazy.
But I to answer kind of like the just bouncing off the question, just kind of finishing it. After that, I was like, okay, yeah, that's fine. And I just continued. I just stuck with it, you know, and that's where I'm at today.
We got to keep doing a couple more, and then, you know, eventually something's gonna stick on the wall.
Yeah.
So speaking of that, like, how did you land the first role, like your first professional, like film and TV?
Funny enough,
yeah.
Same casting director.
Sean and
Sean and JJ. Yeah, Sean and JJ, Arrow,
crazy,
Small Principal.
Right. Brought you back, bro. Like,
yeah,
you know what?
just a funny little kind of comedic scene
Yeah.
where the nerves worked for me because I always had a problem with nerves in the room. I don't know what it was.
Yeah. I mean, listen, we can all relate to this.
We can all relate to it, man.
Most of us have them, man. It's just they never go away. You gotta just learn to, you know, use them.
Yeah. And sometimes sometimes it's like you're given the grace of an audition that gives you that layup for free.
You're right.
So for example, my first role, like I'm playing like this undercover cop, right, who's trying to infiltrate these drug dealers.
Yeah, so he's probably nervous, that cop.
Yeah, he's nervous, right?
Right.
And then main character energy, Arrow breaks through the door.
Right.
I'm like a person of interest in like whatever he's trying to figure out, and he's like, what's going on? Like in here, I'm like, oh God, like you just blew my cover, right? And I'm all freaking out and I'm all nervous.
Right.
And in the audition room, I'm feeling all those those feelings of like, oh God, like I'm like, like I'm nervous. I'm nervous, right? Like I hope I don't fuck up.
Yeah.
And it kind of worked out for me because like I hit the lines with that nervous energy.
Right.
And then I got like my first on-screen
That worked
network
out,
role.
yeah,
And
yeah.
like, and from there, it's just been like a kind of like a constant battle of like
Right.
refining and understanding and learning what's expected of me and trying to embody the characters and be authentic.
Right.
And
So how long did it take you to get your first role? Like from the moment you started auditioning professionally?
about a year.
Okay, so
About
a year in.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, about 1 year. About 1 year since I started like actually auditioning professionally.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice. That's amazing.
1 year. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good. It's about roughly the same time it took me to, because I started, I didn't start auditioning until 2019, and then 2020, there was not a lot
All that
happening with
happened.
COVID, so like it was really just right after COVID I booked my first thing, so it did take a while, but yeah, amazing, man.
Let
Really,
me throw a question at you though.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that actually benefited you? Like actually having to wait that long?
What do you mean from the?
So like for me, I feel like the 1 year that it took me was
Right.
actually a good thing.
Yeah. I mean, if anything, like, this whole thing is just like trial and error, because
Yeah.
you don't know, you're trying to sort of like come up with these choices with these characters, you're not really knowing what they want, and you're constantly like wondering, like, oh, is this how I should play it? Is this what they want? Like you're never really sure, you're just like bringing on a version and just hoping for the best, really.
Absolutely.
That's kind of what it
Yeah.
is. But I think at some point what really happened for me is that I did so many of them, and obviously like I faced a lot of rejections, a lot
Yeah.
of no's, and I did get a couple of callbacks in the beginning, which I
Yeah.
didn't know what it meant.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I got a callback. What does that mean? Like, they're bringing me back for like a new audition. Like,
Yeah.
what does that mean?
Yeah.
So I came close, within that year. I never quite got there, but I got close, right? So, but at some point, what happened is that I started like, I'm like, okay, every time I go like audition, like, okay, I know what's gonna happen. I'm not gonna get it. It's just always like I just stopped caring.
Yeah.
I got to a point where I'm like, okay, I'm never gonna get it. Someone else is gonna get cast. That's usually what happens. Same thing's gonna happen this time. I just stopped caring at some point. And I don't know for you, and I don't know for other people, but honestly, like once you go in the audition room with that mindset, when you don't give a shit, you're like, again, like I'm not saying like you should do that, but I'm just like, that worked for me. I don't know, man. It's just like it really worked for me.
I think you just
It's
nailed
just
it.
like I went into this and I'm like, I did not care. I'm like, I'm not gonna get this. They're gonna cast someone else, someone who's just probably like taller or whatever. Like it's just they're gonna cast someone else. Someone's probably better off with this job than me. So, but the thing is, like when you go with that mindset, you're free because you don't care. Right? You're not in your head because you don't want it anyway.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get it.
Yeah.
So like I'm like, oh, what do I have to lose? Cool. So like,
Interesting.
you know what I mean? Like I'm not in my head. I'm not thinking. I'm just trying to have fun. I'm trying to have a good time and just leave, right? And that's sort of that's kind of the energy that I started bringing in my tapes that really allowed me to be a little more free. And then that's what I started seeing results, because I'm like, I'm never gonna get it. And so that's sort of like that was a mindset shift that I guess I needed to start to book, because before that I would get in my head. I was like, oh my gosh, like where should I look? Should I make eye contact? Should I'm making too much eye contact. I should look away for a second. You know what I mean? I get too much in my head. You know what I'm saying?
Everything becomes like a part of
Everything
the
becomes like sort of
logistics.
like I'm like,
Where's your mark? Is the backdrop color right?
right.
Like this applies
Where
to
am I
self-tapes
looking?
and
Is the
stuff.
eye line
Yeah.
correct? Like, am I looking too
Yeah.
far from camera? Am I looking like, did I just like spike the camera? Like, you get so much in your head. Bro.
Am I grounded enough? Am I too grounded?
Am I moving too much?
Yeah.
Or like, oh, like should I? You know what I
I-
mean? So like, it's just it's weird. Like, it's just you get in I call this like analysis paralysis,
Yeah.
where you just like overanalyze everything, right? You just you're just paralyzed over analyzing everything, and then you get in your head and you're not real. You're not present, and it shows. It reads.
It does read.
Like it just reads. Like
So
like,
I think what you were defining, in my opinion, this is where I'm at. I think that is like the first really important step, but it's not the last step. Like
100%,
yeah,
yeah.
I think that first step of being like, if I don't get this, it's not the end of the world,
yeah.
is the most important step for any actor to get over that hump.
Yeah.
Like unequivocally, if you can't handle that,
Yep.
you can't handle anything else.
I agree.
Because at the stage of acting that I'm at, it's like, okay, like, can I handle not getting that big one that I really, really wanted, you know, or the rejection of like
Yep.
7 or 8 in a row,
Yeah.
you know, the rejection of that higher bracket that I want to break into.
Yeah.
Those are now the questions, as opposed to, can I even get something?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
am I going to get something at all?
Yeah.
And I think breaking through that mentality of like, I don't need it. It doesn't define my worth. My value is a human being.
100%.
Because like, fuck that. If your whole value is associated with you as an actor, like you got to step back and reevaluate why you're doing it in the first place. But like,
Totally.
I think getting over that is really, really important. But then I think after that, it's understanding that part of that energy of not caring, it's not so much you don't actually care, it's that you are disassociated from the result of what the audition is.
Right.
So you go there with the creative intention, you go there with all your intentions, you go there with the preparation, as we all should do.
Yep.
But you disassociate yourself from the result. So that it becomes easier to be rejected, because that is what auditioning is.
Totally.
And I
So
think,
well said.
yeah, and I think that's what the next kind of like revelation is like,
Yep.
I want to like put my best foot forward. I do like this character. I do want to show what I prepared.
Yep.
I want to show what I'm capable of.
Yep.
I want to express this character truthfully and in a dynamic way.
Yep.
But if it's not for me, it's not for me.
Yeah. It's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's like, again, like, I mean, you gotta come, you know, you gotta come to terms with the fact that you're not gonna book everything. If anything, you're lucky to book one audition out of, I don't know how many, man.
What's the current ratio? 1 out of 30 or
It's,
something?
I mean, I don't know, man. It's just, it kind of depends on the season, to be honest with
It's
you.
true.
But I mean, I've definitely been booking more consistently. Like my ratio is like, I was like, my ratio is getting better and better by the year.
Good.
Like since my first booking, I think, what is it, 2021? 2020,
Yeah.
I can't remember. I think 2021, my first booking. And then like it's been going relatively, like, just, it's been increasing.
Yeah.
And that's because as I said, like, I'm just like not in my head anymore. And like, I'm like, I get to a point where I feel like I'm just, I don't know, you get to a point where you just feel like you're a stronger actor. You just like, no,
Yeah.
you know, you're not like, you seem organic. You're not pushing.
It's so true.
You know what I
It's
mean?
so
Like
true.
you just know it in your like in your body at some point.
And this is where I was coming from. It's like,
Yeah, yeah.
like once you learn that, like, you're not married to the result of what happens,
Yeah.
but you are actively pursuing things like scene analysis,
Yeah.
character motivation, objective,
100%.
all those like marquee words that we all talk about. But like, how does this character physically move? Does this character sit in silence?
Right.
You know,
Totally.
is silence necessary? Is like a more volatile thing necessary? What is the tone of the show?
Yep.
Am I watching these things? Am I kind of being like, that's like, this is all like prudent stuff that we all should be doing,
100%.
right?
Yep.
And that's just part of being a professional. And I think the more that you actually engage with all those questions and you just kind of make it a part of what you are as an actor,
Yep.
and disassociate from the result,
Yeah.
then you are just becoming a stronger actor. And you're and the worrying doesn't really affect you anymore.
100%.
We were talking about a mutual coach, Aaron Craven from the Working Acting Studio. I've been like taking a class with him.
Yep.
Guy's like a consummate professional, man. Like, he's just such
Aaron is amazing. Honestly,
Yeah.
Aaron, if you're watching
Yeah.
this, like, so much respect, so much love.
straight up.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
I would love to actually have him on at some point.
You
too.
should have him on.
Yeah.
I'll mention it to him next time I'm in class if that's something you'd
he
want.
knows, yeah. He
Yeah.
knows. I'm probably gonna see him because like I know they're doing like a short plays and social this month, which you should definitely attend, by the way.
Okay,
They're
I
great.
will.
Yeah, maybe we can actually go together or something.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, I mean Aaron and his lovely wife as well. Kate,
well, yeah.
amazing actress as well. So they're both super good, and yeah, they put up these plays every year. Mitch and Murray production. If you guys haven't checked them out, amazing plays that they put up every year.
Great local theater scene for like
great
a
acting
city
coach.
that's starving for it.
Amazing,
Yeah.
amazing acting studio. Amazing, like really top notch sort of coaching. So
Yeah.
definitely check them out.
And just one thing that like just immediately, and I've had this from several coaches that I've worked with, right? I'm just speaking to him because there's an immediacy to like my experience with him, is just his adjustments his adjustments of like fine tuning something that's already good. And it's all coming from a place of experience.
Right.
It's not coming from a place of ego. It's not coming from a place of like, of worry if it doesn't look good. It's like, let's try this. Let's just like, let's do this thing, you know? And I think we intuitively, as we continue our acting journey, will pick these things up, right? To the point that when I'm watching, like, and if you're not reading for other actors, I think it's really important to do so. If you can offer that to other people,
of course,
you can learn so much, man.
just by watching other people work.
Just watching other people work from an auditioning perspective. If you're behind the scenes, if you do some of that stuff, watching actors like from behind the camera as well, and just picking up from like actual performance as opposed to auditioning. But just from like a reader's perspective, I'm catching things in my friends' auditions now that I wouldn't have caught 2 or 3 years ago, based on just my experience being in the business, being in front of camera, being on set. Knowing what this show plays like tonality wise. Is it HBO? Is it NBC? Is it CW? Is it Hallmark? Is it a Lifetime? How does that affect the cadence of how you're saying things?
Of course.
Right? Because I know so many talented actors, man. We all do. Really, really talented actors who will get an audition, they'll get the breakdown, they'll get like the scene, and they start running it. And I'm like, this is Lifetime, man. Speed it up. Like, you know, like you're playing it very, like we have limited amount of time to like say these lines, right? When
the pace is different.
The pace is different. So let's not play it like this contemplative A24 film where we're sitting in a dreamscape sequence for the better part of 5 minutes with minimal dialogue. Like, you know, you can't have 9 seconds of air between each word when we're like, we're in a city that largely shoots a lot of network stuff, procedural stuff that's really, really fast. You learn this about when you see it in other actors, you learn it, and when you have to do it yourself. Right. So like I'll get an audition for like Watson or like Alert or one of these shows that's like medical jargon, fast. Before it would have been something like The Good Doctor. I botched like dozens of auditions for that. Right. But like, okay, like let's pace it up. That's where the show lives. It's not a judgment of the show. That's just where it lives. And you just pick these things up as you go on in your journey, man. Like
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, this is part of one of the first things you gotta obviously like do when you get a breakdown. It's just like you gotta figure out the world that this lives in, and then, you know, from there you'll get an understanding of the tone, the pacing, the style, and kind of just adjust your delivery towards that. And not to say that you can't obviously slow down at times.
You can.
You know, obviously it kind of depends on what's going on. You know what I mean? Like sometimes your character sometimes can't find the words, and that's totally fine if that's the emotional state he's going through, and that's like he's incapable of like saying this or whatever. It's totally fine. But generally speaking, you know, like if, as you said, right, like if the tone calls for a faster pace, then yes, you got to pick it up, because that's, you know, so.
But I think even within that though, and this is like the last step that that I'm trying to engage with now, and like my development as an actor, is being on my voice,
That's something I get all the time.
Being on my voice, like projecting in my physicality, like really harnessing my body as a performer, harnessing like the focus, the intentionality, and the consistency and stamina that is required, you know, to be a series regular or to be a lead or something like that. And moreover than that, the most important thing, and this is what Aaron was talking about, I was going to get to it, is just making bold fucking choices, man. You know, and it's something that I struggle with sometimes. We admittedly, I think we all do it sometimes, is we phone it in.
Yes, we play the conservative line.
Play it safe. And I think it's because there are mixed messages, and I think it's because actors are so keen, and we want to succeed, and we want to do a good job, and we care so much that sometimes like we make a mountain out of these notes in like a breakdown. It will be like it'll be like, oh, play the thing grounded. So then we just turn off our emotionality. And I was like, well, that's not what they're asking. Like, you know? I
mean, no, grounded just means that, you know, you got to make it truthful and real. That's all it means. Doesn't mean that you can't go big. I mean, like, you know, if it's real and grounded, then that's, you know, you're having fun. That's still grounded. It's just, you got to keep it truthful and real and within the realm of like how you would act in real life. That's basically what it means. Now, again, I just wanted to add something to what you said. That also just like ties with like what I was saying before, where when I go to an audition or when I tape something, I just go into this sort of like, I don't care mode. No, I don't give a shit mode.
Yeah.
Because listen, well, guess what? I mean, it's so much easier, you know, to let go and to play and to go bigger and make bold choices when you don't give a shit. Because like, I mean, like, I'm like, okay, I'm never gonna get this. So like, I guess I don't have anything to lose. Let me have fun.
Yeah.
You know, let me make it crazy. I'm not gonna get it anyway.
Yeah.
So might as well go crazy.
Yeah, man.
And again, that's why I love this sort of like not giving a fuck mode, just because you are so loose, bro.
You are.
You are so loose. You're not in your head. It's just like, I don't know how to explain it, bro. It's just like,
I know exactly
you know what I'm
you
saying.
mean.
It's just, yeah.
I have a friend who I tape with regularly.
Yeah.
My friend Angelo.
Nice.
And
Yeah.
we have a level of like rapport and comfortability. I try not to tape with them all the time because I want to like work with other people and just kind of feel like, oh, I can work with anyone.
Yeah.
But it is nice when you have somebody of like a rapport that you kind of know that you can just like, hey man, what the fuck's going on? How you doing? You want something to like drink? Like, you know, can I get you something? You know, that very kind of, you're walking into it very loose.
Right.
Let's just do this fucking thing. Let's just put it on camera and like, let's see what we find.
Totally.
Right. And some of the funnest moments I've had on camera is just being like, let's fucking play.
Yeah.
Like, let's just do it. Right. And then transferring that if you do book to like set is a whole nother dimension
100%.
because you want to actually have that confidence on set, but then it's a different sensation. But as it pertains to like auditioning, I feel like it's so freeing just being in that friendly mentality of like, yeah, whatever happens, happens. Like I've done my work. That is very important that you do that. The work is established, but once you get there, just throw it away, let it go. And all my coaches that I've ever worked with have all said it.
Trust it. Yeah.
Yeah, Deb Podolsky is somebody I've worked with quite a bit, and,
Same, yeah.
and it's been a while since I worked with her, but like mad respect for her, and like, and she always said like, do your fucking work,
Yeah, and trust the process.
trust the process, and show up and just let it go,
Right, literally.
You know,
That's all you can
let
do,
it rip.
Because at the end of the day, like, it's just like, I mean, let's also be honest, right?
Yeah.
Like acting, what are you doing when you're acting? You're just like trying to live a character that you can relate to a certain extent. Because also, like, you know, there's always a part of yourself in each character.
Truth under like imaginary circumstances, I think is the term that
right?
people
So
say.
when you actually extrapolate this into the real life, no one, like, I mean, I'm not thinking about my objective right now as I'm talking.
No,
You know, I'm not using different tactics. I'm just kind of
I know.
just saying it. Right. So like, this is why it's so important to let go, because that's how we are in real life.
Absolutely.
You know, like, we're not thinking about the obstacle. I'm talking to you right now. I'm not thinking about my objective, but also it's there.
Yeah.
You know, I know what I want out of this conversation.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So like, again, it's just like, it lives in your subconscious.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
You
Like,
got to put it in your subconscious.
Yeah.
You know, I think
it's there.
prior to, but like
Yeah.
once you're doing it, let it go.
Yeah.
And then it will just naturally come up.
Of course, if you've done the work,
If you,
it will.
yeah, it's very, 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 very true.
No, 100%. So, okay, let's just move on to, I guess, like the process of how you actually, I guess, break down your auditions. 'Cause
okay.
It's really important because it's something that I'm very intrigued, because there's so many ways of like doing things. There's not a single right way of doing things.
Yeah.
So let's say you get an audition, you get a
All right.
breakdown, you get something. What happens? What do you do?
Okay.
Like from the moment you actually get the audition to the moment that you actually tape it, and actually to the moment that you even book it and you're on set. Just walk us through what exactly happens, whether it's like, you know, script analysis, memorizing the lines. What are the stages that you go through?
It depends.
Yeah.
So like, and that's the most truthful answer that I can actually give to you, is that like it actually fucking depends. Like, if it's a one-liner,
Right, of course.
you know, or even if it's like,
You're not gonna spend
at
an entire,
this
like-
point now, like I don't know, but like if I think on average, like my smaller auditions are between like 5 and 10 lines. Like that's like the smaller average. You know, I still get a couple like one-liners, but I'm also getting a series regular audition here and like a guest star, and like so there's a big variance for me in my auditions, like when I'm getting, and like the type of auditions that I'm getting. And I think a comfortability, which we talked about before, of like I just know what this is. If it's something that I just feel like I naturally kind of understand what this thing is, I naturally sit in it. Sometimes I will completely forego like script analysis and all that stuff. I just read the lines. I'm like, I get the scene.
Yeah.
Right. If it's like a 2-page like scene, something that just makes immediate sense to me, I'll just be like, okay, let's just start memorizing it. There's other ones where I'm like, okay, there's a lot more blocking here. There is a lot more subtlety in the language. There's a subtext which needs to be brought alive because it's not just the words on the page. There's something that the characters are saying that actually means something else, right? And there's there's the refinement of writing that requires me to do scene analysis. And when that kind of thing comes up, I will kind of go through the entire gauntlet of everything I've ever learned of like, at the most basic form, top of the page, after reading it 3 or 4 times, what is the character's objective? The meta objective, like the main objective, the small, like the in-scene objective, or like the greater objective of like their life.
Do you write this down, or you just?
I almost always write it down.
Okay.
I only write it down, not that I haven't just kind of locked into my brain and not written it down, but I almost always write it down in the event that like I come back to the script.
Yeah, because if you do book it, you're gonna have to revisit this.
Or even like I work 2 jobs, right? Like I work multiple jobs outside of acting, and like I have a social life and I have things going on, and sometimes I'll grab the script, I'll read it, I'll kind of do some work, and then I'll put it away for like, you know, most of the day, and I come back to it. And then it's right there on the top of my page. This is my objective. Okay. Right away I'm reassociated with the objective. Right away I'm right back into the objective, and I'm reading it, the entire thing, through that lens. So the objective for me is like something I think we should not skip. I think it's the single most important thing.
I think like it's a fair sort of thing to do. I don't feel like it doesn't take like too long, you know?
No, it doesn't.
You just look at the script, you try to figure out what's the motivation of the character. Even if it's like a one-liner, you know, like what's your objective? What are you trying to do? Just real quick, gives you something to start, you know, to work off of.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
And then I would say like going past that, just establishing character relationships. Like, who is this character in relation to me? What is my backstory? Like, does my character have like a significant backstory that I need to flesh out?
Right.
If it does, if I don't feel like an immediate association with the character, because we all have those characters when we get the breakdown.
You don't always relate to them, right?
No, but we also have ones that we relate to very much, and we're like, I don't really need to do that much to get there.
Because you know what it's like. Yeah.
If you're playing a character that's very close to Allie, or like in my kid, like me. I don't really have to do much like backstory. I can use my own backstory, right? Like if it's character like in the coffee shop who's having an ambiguous conversation with somebody, it could just be me.
Yeah, you've been there.
Yeah, I've been there. But if it's a character that's very far from me, I need to kind of establish a bit of a backstory. Sometimes I'll do a little bit of a bio, just for my own peace of mind, and just like
nice.
You know, I don't think that we need to go like hyper in detail with it, like some people would, because then you only have so many hours in a day, buddy. Like, we're trying to put something on tape. Right.
Also, I mean, like, it's also important to realize that the audition is not it's not the thing. Well, it's not the end product. I mean, it's just like a version that it's gonna be refined. In the events that you do book it. Because you're gonna have time to prep it. You're gonna have time to work on it. When you get on set, it's gonna be polished. You're gonna like, the director will make sure it's polished.
Always.
Right. So like, it's like,
and how many times you get on set and it's actually they want something completely different than you actually did in the audition. So
I mean, of course, I mean, generally speaking, like if they bring you in, the audition is usually the starting place. Where you, I mean, as far as I know, like that's always where I start. I started with the very similar version of what I brought in the audition, and then we go from there. With the director. Right. But I mean, usually like when they book you, when they're like, hey, like you're in, it's because they like the version that you brought in the tape.
Absolutely.
Right. So again, this is not the final product. It's really important to realize that the tape doesn't have to be like pitch perfect.
It doesn't have to be
like
perfect.
it's just like it's just have to be good enough to make it past the preliminary rounds. For you to get the the callback and all that, and then once you lock it, that's when you can actually go back and maybe you can work out the character a little more. Maybe build like a big of a backstory, because yes. We do have so many hours in the day, and we can't realistically spend hours and hours like doing sort of like infinite script work on the character. Only to tape it for like 2 lines. It's just you know what I mean. Not to say it's like a wrong thing. Obviously, if you have that many hours like to do it, go for it. But I'm just saying, like, you gotta use your time wisely, especially if you're getting more auditions.
And I think sometimes like bringing your real life like schedule into your audition actually makes it more authentic, because it's
100%.
like, because these characters are stressed out too. They got lots of stuff going on in their lives, and they're like realized human beings. And so like some of that internal energy is going to show on the day,
Yeah.
as opposed to like I just locked myself in a room for 48 hours and
Yeah.
went over my audition like a madman.
Yeah.
You know, like what am I actually preparing for? Like, is it like a
100%.
3-page scene?
Yeah, literally.
Like, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
But
very
I
kind
would
of
say to
mistake
like
fall
kind of
into.
to finish off like my process, once I kind of do all that kind of back work, and there's other things, verb work, stuff like that, like association, how to like tactics, you already mentioned those verbs and how to achieve those tactics with them.
Yep.
I verb to person to get what I want or whatever. Sometimes I do that. A lot of the time I don't.
Yeah.
But then I'll get it up in its feet and I just start drilling it, man. Like I start auditioning.
Start playing and
yeah.
start- yeah.
I start prepping the lines. I say the lines. I heard Robert Downey Jr. talking about like line preparation, something that stuck with me a lot. And he's like, before you do like the thing, whether it's on set or an audition, like do those lines like 1,000 times in like different ways.
Yeah.
You know, get used to saying it. Do it while you're doing the dishes. Do it while you're like doing laundry. Do it while you're on the gym on the treadmill. Like, you know, do it when you're like driving home from work and like, you know, you have to pay attention to traffic. Like, say the lines. You know, like if you have them locked, like just say them.
Right. Of course. Yeah.
And then it'll just kind of like when it comes down to you actually like shooting them out, you're not worried about it, right? You're not like fixated on the actual like forgetting the line because they're so drilled into you at that point that you have a freedom of actually saying it a million different ways and playing with it and finding the version that comes up when you're reading with somebody.
100%. And also, I think it's also just once you do that, because I mean I've not seen it, and it's so good what you just said. But also, I mean, like, you know, when you start an audition, it's really important sometimes to give yourself some sort of business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's something we see all
Absolutely.
the time. Like, I mean, no one ever says just a line without doing like, even right now, I'm just like, you know, gesturing and I'm like, you know what I mean? Like it's just,
You're floating out in like
I mean,
Neverland.
you know, of course. So like, you know, sometimes like, you know, we're, as you said, like, you know, we're talking to someone while we're folding our clothes or like doing laundry or
Absolutely.
something. So when you rehearse, when you start saying these lines out loud while working out, when doing dishes, whatever, and then you give yourself some sort of business in the scene, whatever that may be, it's going to be easier to actually like make it more organic because you've been practicing saying them out loud with like all these different scenarios that you've been.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I think the flip side of that is like giving yourself too much business.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which some people love to do. It's
Of
like
course,
I make
yeah.
the entire audition about the prop or
Yes,
about like
that's when it starts to like, you know,
Yeah.
it throws you away. It's just like it throws you off. Sorry. When you make a scene about the business, and then sometimes I'm like I'm seeing, I've made the mistake myself where I'm like overdoing what I'm doing. I'm like,
yeah.
wait, why am I folding that many shirts? Like it's just like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I haven't even said the first line. I'm like,
Yeah.
I've already folded 5 shirts. I'm like,
My current agent, when I first signed with him, and like I had started to feel pretty confident in my
Yeah.
craft by the time I signed with him a couple of years ago.
yeah,
One of the first auditions I did, it was like
Yeah.
a fire country audition. I had like
Right.
and like I had like my hard hat from like the like one of the jobs I do, and I doubled that as like a firefighter hat.
Yep.
And then like it's like a wildfire firefighter show, right?
yeah,
So I'm like I dressed like eerily close to like what they would wear.
Yep.
And then I had like a fucking like I went into like my mom and dad like in Burnaby. They got like this little shed with all these tools, and they have
Right.
like this like long hammer, like double like pike kind of thing. And I have that in the scene too.
yeah.
And my agent's like, yo, man, you don't have to use all those props, bro. And like he's noticing it, so casting's
Right,
noticing.
of course.
And I'm like, oh shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I watch it back. I'm like, yeah, it's kind of taken up all
it's
of
too much.
It's too much.
Yeah, yeah.
It's too much when I could have just focused on me.
Yeah.
I could have just focused on the truth of the circumstances and it
Right.
would have shown a lot more.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, not too much business. I guess also just like in the process, going back to the process thing, one thing that I really like to do is I do like mirror work.
Okay.
So, you know, I will kind of, I'll kind of rehearse with myself a little bit. Like
Right.
it's a weird process, but it's like, I like to see what I'm doing with my face and like, you know,
Yeah,
and does that connect with me? Like when I'm like, when I'm seeing myself back, am I connecting with myself?
Yeah.
And then obviously I have to work with like a partner and like maybe sometimes depending on the audition, like
Yeah.
call a friend.
Yeah.
hey, like I need help running this, because it just lands once you run it with somebody. You
Of
need
course.
another person. That's what we
it's
do.
so much better than having someone on Zoom reading for you.
Oh, dude.
It's like I mean, listen, if I can get someone in person, it's always better.
Yeah.
But I mean, sometimes you can always do that. Like,
Yeah.
it's just sometimes, you know, like
But
last
I mean,
time,
even like just in the rehearsal process, just like calling somebody, like, yo, can you run these lines with me?
course.
Just so like I
Yeah.
feel comfortable, like speaking to another person, which
right.
is the
So you would
basis.
like run them in person with someone?
No, it
Or
can
on
be
the
over the
phone?
it can be over the phone.
Right,
It can
yeah.
be over the phone. It's just like, hey, or like I will use Zoom, not
Yeah.
for the audition, but for like a rehearsal.
Of course. Yeah.
Call a friend, somebody I know is like,
Yeah.
and I will offer it back to them too. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
you need like to
Try to
run
return the
lines.
favor, of course.
Yeah. I just want to like run lines before I put this on, like put it on its feet. So the first time I'm not going in cold.
Yeah. Of course.
And then you run it, you feel it, like you feel a connection with a human being, and so like you kind of get what that additional layer is when you bring it in.
Of course.
And then just rounding it out,
Yeah.
a lot of like movement work, a
Yeah.
lot of like just kind of like, is my character an authority figure? How does an authority figure walk?
Of course.
Like, how does he talk? What
Yep.
is his voice intonation like?
Yep.
So breath work as well. That's like kind of like tied into like that movement.
Yep.
Doing vocal warm ups.
Absolutely.
That's all part of it, man. That's
Yep.
all part of like the preamble. That's all part of the work. And like, there's people who do it way better and more intensely than
Yep.
I do, and like consistent with it.
Yep.
I think that was like kind of going back to what we were talking before, like just the stamina and consistency of what makes you a more developed actor.
Absolutely.
Is just kind of coming back to what works, realizing what works for you in your process, irregardless of the bookings.
Right.
Like we're so in our fucking head about like, oh, I booked this scene.
Yep.
I mean, I booked this audition. Like I'm gonna be on set. Like that's
Yeah.
what validates me.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So let's just like wrap this up. But before that, I want to ask you, man, like, what's the end goal here for you? Like, what's like where we're heading? Where's like, just like paint us a picture of like the finish line, I guess.
I'll be honest, man. Like it's still a journey. Like I'm still figuring that out for myself.
Nice.
You know, if you would ask me like a year ago, I'm like, oh yeah, I want to like, I want to be acting at the highest levels and like, breaking through in all these meaningful ways and getting these huge like roles on these like really prestige films, right? Like,
Yeah.
and I do have like a kind of a bit of a discerning taste for the kind of like stuff I want to be in.
Totally.
But I think now it's just the prospect of creating, like and whether that's through the expression of my acting or my writing, producing, directing, I just want to be creating
Yeah.
in a meaningful way that I can sustain myself.
Absolutely.
But I want to tell stories. I want to be involved in other people telling stories. I want to bring my artistry to the forefront, and I want to do a good job at doing that. That's like the most important thing for me. Obviously, like there's ascending like goalposts that you want to achieve, like, oh, I want to get this kind of role and that kind of role, or I want to sell this script to somebody, or I want to produce this film, I want to like make this film independently. Those are all like tangible kind of goals. And I do have a bunch of those.
Yeah.
But I think at the core of it is like, I just want to be a creative. I want to be a creative individual within a larger community. And I want to make like relations like this,
Yeah,
like where it's
absolutely.
like you form good bonds with people that that people that you trust,
Yes.
and that you can like reach out and be like, hey man, like you want to work on this thing?
Of course.
Do you want like, and vice versa, like the reciprocal. And like,
Yeah.
one thing I've been leaning into in the last like couple years is just like, and not couple years, and like the last like I'd say year is like really just saying yes, like when opportunities come
Learning
around,
to say yes. Absolutely.
regardless of that being acting specific, but just like, hey, like I need help on a set.
Yeah.
I'm making a short film.
Yeah.
Can you help? Like, yes, yeah, I can.
Yeah.
And I might just be like, hey, like I'm gonna like go over there and just like help move some boxes, or like
Yeah.
just like
Whatever it may be,
go
but-
pick up some stuff for the set and be like an unofficial PA for the day.
Right.
It goes a long way with people.
Of course.
And I think what it does is like fosters like a sense of like community, a creative community, where then people are more likely to help you, and then fuck man, maybe you have a feature film that you want to make.
Yeah.
And you got the money, you got the resources, and now you just need the help.
Totally.
Well,
Yeah.
what do you do?
Guess what?
You,
Yeah.
you call in those favors, man.
100%. No,
We're not doing all this for free.
I don't know how you're saying, dude. Like, it's like, this is the industry where connections matter more than anything.
Yeah.
Anything. It's like, it's always about who you know, so it's just like, it's so important to just like build these connections, because you never know where it really leads to.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
And
So-
and just putting a button on your question, like, but I think for me the most important thing is that whatever I do, I do it with passion.
yeah.
I do it with an intensity of like and a genuine hard work ethic. Like
Yeah.
that I want to create good things. I want to make things that are good, that are
Yeah.
that has staying power and lasting power. And I want to like be involved with other people's projects of the same nature. Like that's what I want out of this business, right?
Right,
Out of this
right.
like community of creative artists.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing, dude. So well said. So well said. Well, you know, the great Anthony Demarre, everybody.
Thank
Dude,
you.
thank you so much
Thanks
for
having me.
Of course, man. Thank you so much for coming, for you know, making the time and all that.
Yeah.
So you guys know the drill already. Just make sure to subscribe. You know, follow us on all the platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, all that. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We'll see you guys in the next one. And yeah, keep crushing it, guys. We're rooting for you.